He's gonna eat meat, but the only thing he's gonna eat is gonna eat meat.
Canelo Alvarez is back again, and this time he's coming to focus on staying undefeated. Every move he makes now is building towards something bigger, with Terence Crawford waiting on the horizon. In preparation for his upcoming fight against William Scull, Canelo Alvarez has placed a special emphasis on refining the precision and power of his punches. Every session is focused on enhancing the sharpness of his combinations, the speed of his counters, and the devastating force behind his body shots. This time, Canelo is working closely with his trainer, Eddie Reynoso. He is drilling advanced punching techniques, focusing on better weight transfer, improved hand speed, and flawless timing. Canelo is not only reinforcing the strengths that have made him a champion, but also evolving his style to be even more dangerous when he faces William in the ring. As Canelo has already fought with Cuban fighter Erislandy Lara, Canelo said he has nothing to worry about this fight, but made it clear that he is a stronger and more evolved fighter now. In a charged interview ahead of his fight with William Scull, Canelo Alvarez fully aimed to stay an undisputed world champion for a second time.
I expect the same. At the beginning it's gonna be a little bit difficult, but you know, I'm different Canelo now, and he's gonna feel it Saturday. Believe me. Means a lot because it's history for my career. That's what I want, and that kind of things motivate myself, so means a lot.
Canelo confidently predicted a challenging start to the fight, but promised that Scull would quickly realize he was facing a different level of opponent. He also issued a warning that once the bell rings, reality will hit hard. With the super middleweight undisputed crown on the line at Fatal Fury, Canelo versus Scull, the stage is set for a thrilling and unforgettable night.
Everybody talks shit, but when they step in the ring, it's gonna be something different. He's gonna feel something different for sure. Believe me. This is nothing new for me, but for him, it's gonna be something different, and he's gonna feel something different for sure.
Moreover, former boxer Juan Manuel Marquez, being a very strong supporter of Canelo Alvarez, complimented that Canelo's experience, extensive skill set, and power leave him well ahead in the competition. In Marquez's view, Canelo has evolved into a total fighter with defensive perfection, precise counterpunching, and explosive punching power, things that make him extremely hard to defeat.
Yeah, Canelo Alvarez is a good fighter. He's a good fighter. He defeats, he defends his titles against William Scull. William Scull is a good fighter, but I think the experience, the power, Canelo has everything.
As the date of his next bout approaches, Canelo Alvarez is fully immersed in an intensive and highly disciplined training camp. He continues to refine his legendary skills, including precision punching, defensive mastery, and strategic footwork. This time, Canelo's focus remains absolute.
Eso. Venga. 5, venga. 1, 2, 3, 4. Eso. Enjoy.
After this impending clash, Canelo will be going to fight Terence Crawford, who has held multiple world championships in 4 weight classes, from lightweight to light middleweight. About this fight predictions, former legendary fighter Mike Tyson recently shared his view on the Terence Crawford and Canelo fight that will probably happen in September. Mike Tyson said this fight is going to have equal chances for both fighters. Only that fighter will win who will show his determination and stay disciplined during the training camp. Even if Terence Crawford has those abilities, he can win against Canelo.
Canelo's going to fight Crawford in September on another huge event brought by Saudi Arabia. Who do you think wins that fight? Is it maybe the weight too much for Terence Crawford?
Right. You know, there's been men that beat people like Armstrong and McLaren and these guys. They're beating people bigger than them, 2 divisions bigger than them. It's not impossible, you know. Henry Armstrong's a featherweight, and he beat the middleweight champ. At 130 pounds, he beat the welterweight champ. Then he fought a draw with the middleweight champ. So I think size means nothing. Determination means everything.
More as the debate is ongoing, Teddy Atlas shared deep insights on the highly anticipated fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. He called it one of the most intriguing matchups in recent boxing history. Teddy pointed out Canelo's clear advantages in size, strength, experience, and elite skills, but also highlighted Crawford's speed, craftiness, ring intelligence, and the special factor that could allow him to upset the odds.
I think it's an intriguing fight. I think there's been a lot of intriguing fights happening with Turkey Al-Sheikh in the last year and a half. Fights that have both been, I think, wanted by the fans and needed by the sport. It goes back to the question in the history of the sport, one of the old time-honored questions: who wins, the real good big man or the real good little man? And it asks all those questions that come with that. And that's one of the reasons why it is such an interesting fight. You can look at it 2 ways. You can look at it as the obvious advantage of the bigger man, who's very experienced, who's been a world champion a long time, Canelo. With his size, you know, he's gonna have the advantage. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's dangerous, all those things. And then for me, I can look at the other side of the ledger, and I look at the smaller man and say, wait a minute, he's faster, he's craftier, you know, he's experienced too. He's been a champion too. He can wind up where the other guy could be too strong and too powerful. He could be too fast, too slick. And he's also shown that he carries power fairly well.
Teddy also admitted that though Canelo is getting older and less energetic in terms of his punches, he has developed in other ways, becoming smarter, more accurate, and more effective, similar to fine wine that matures with age. He concluded that if there is someone who can defeat Canelo currently, it's Crawford, due to his unique instincts, pace, and strategic genius.
So I look forward to it. You can make an argument for both guys. I think that both guys are special, but I think Crawford has special. I know he hasn't fought the level, or not just the level, but he doesn't have the resume as thick, obviously, as Canelo does of so many fights and so many champions. But I tell you something, he's got enough, and he's got enough for me. I think I've been in the business 50 years. He's got enough for me where it's caught my eye, where I believe that there is something very special. I'm not saying they're both not special, but there's something very special about Crawford, that he has that it factor. That'll be the intangible, if he's to win this fight, that it factor, instincts, all those things that go into that it factor, that at the end of the day they will show, and maybe the smaller man may have his day with the bigger man.
Teddy also stated that during the fight, Crawford's strategy would likely involve using speed, movement, angles, and distance control to beat Canelo to the punch and stay out of danger, similar to how fighters like Erislandy Lara and Floyd Mayweather caused Canelo problems in the past.
So Canelo understands the sweet sides. He counter punches. He knows how to set traps. He can do all those things too. But I think that if there is to be a downfall to him, if there is to be an exploitation in this fight, and you try to exploit things in a fight of a weakness or so on, or strength of yourself, I think it would be along the lines of what I said earlier, where Crawford would like to exploit maybe the slower feet of Canelo, where he can't close the gaps as quickly as he would want to, especially at this point in his career, where he's getting up a little bit in age. And he would take advantage of that, beat him to the mark, and then, change distance, get to the side, give angles before Canelo can come back. So I would think that he would like to keep him more balanced, obviously a little bit the way that Lara did, a little bit, but that was a long time ago with Canelo.
Furthermore, boxing legend Juan Manuel Marquez expressed his disapproval of a potential fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Marquez believes that, despite Crawford's skill and accomplishments, the size and natural strength advantage of Canelo would make the matchup unfair. He argued that it would be a mismatch, with Canelo simply being too big, too powerful, and too experienced at the higher weight classes. Marquez further suggested that Crawford should stay within his more natural weight divisions, where his talents can be fully appreciated against more evenly matched opponents.
I don't like the fight because Terence Crawford is a good fighter, but in the sport of boxing, it has divisions. You know what I mean?
Right, weight classes.
Yeah, weight classes
for a reason.
Weight classes and Terence Crawford is a good fighter in super lightweight, welterweight, super welterweight, but I think more. I remember when Terence Crawford fought with Madrimov.
Yes.
He looks slow. He looks with no power. And two more divisions. I think it's a top fight for Terence Crawford. But Terence Crawford is a great fighter. He has a great defense. He has a good combination punches. But I think the weight class is no good for him.
Boxing great Roberto Duran was recently interviewed about how Terence Crawford might beat Canelo Alvarez. Duran's take is that Crawford's strategy for winning is his speed, movement, and ring IQ. Duran further clarified and added that Crawford should utilize angles, rapid foot movement, and swift counters to take away Canelo's power. He said that by remaining elusive, managing the distance, and unboxing Canelo with precision punching, Crawford is able to annoy the Mexican superstar and take rounds. Duran feels Crawford's slick style and high boxing IQ provide him with a legitimate chance, but only if he battles the perfect fight without standing toe-to-toe for too long.
¿Qué tiene que hacer Crawford para ganar la pelea contra Canelo subiendo de peso, como tú subiste de peso muchas veces?
Es una pelea muy dura, pero depende de cómo venga el hombre. Tiene que boxear y pararse, confundirlo. Te paga, sale y él piensa que tú te vas a parar y le boxeas. El otro asalto, él piensa que tú le vas a boxear y te le paga, todo lo tiene confundido.
Meanwhile, creating more hype around the Terence Crawford vs. Canelo fight, previous champion Tim Bradley shared his concerns for Terence Crawford fighting Canelo Alvarez. Bradley discussed that part of the excitement in boxing is fighting before a loud crowd, but the same excitement can trick a fighter into taking unnecessary risks. Bradley said he is worried that the same mistake will be repeated if Crawford battles Canelo. He admitted that Crawford is tough and proud by nature, and he won't give in, but that might prove perilous to him against a larger, more powerful, and better acclimated Canelo. Swapping punches with Canelo would be too great a gamble for Crawford to take.
And it also comes with the fact that Terence is just, that's his mentality. He's tough. A little bit of me moving forward, that's what scares me about the Canelo fight, to be honest with you, because
he ain't gonna back down. Tough. He ain't gonna back down.
No,
not.
He's not gonna back. and he's tough, and that's what scares me about that fight, because you don't need to be trading with that bull. Like, I know you're strong.
Tim Bradley warned that Crawford is extremely rugged and has tremendous will he won't shy away from a fight. Bradley believes that against Canelo, that ruggedness might just become an issue. Canelo is a naturally stronger and larger fighter who has been fighting at higher weight classes throughout his career. He's accustomed to fighting big, strong fighters, whereas Crawford is going up in weight and isn't as comfortable with that level of size and strength.
But that dude is naturally strong, and he's been at his weight class for a very long time. So he's acclimated. You don't need to be trading with this guy at all, regardless of how the fight is going.
Roy Jones Jr., another professional boxer, thinks that the Canelo-Crawford fight is excellent for boxing, although others do not. He opines that Canelo can lose if he is matched against the wrong type. That is, if he commits tactical errors or fails to remain disciplined. Yet if Canelo fights the right type of fight, it would be extremely hard for Crawford. According to Roy, everything lies in what style Canelo is going to use in the ring. For Crawford, Roy's advice is to come in as heavy as he can while still within the agreed weight class. As Canelo is naturally the larger man and very accustomed to fighting at higher weight classes, Crawford must make himself as large and strong as possible to assist in closing that physical gap and provide himself with the best possible chance to compete.
Bud, Canelo, done deal. Looks like the fight is signed. What's your thoughts on this fight, man?
Man, it's a great fight for boxing. I know people don't agree with it, but if Canelo fights one inkling of the wrong fight, he gonna lose. If he comes out and fights the right fight, it's gonna be a tough one. So right now, I think it go be either way, but it depends on what type of fight Canelo fights.
You've been a guy that's up in weight class. How do you think Terence Crawford should handle the weight? Should he come in lighter? Should he come right around the weight limit?
Come in as big as he can get. If he get to the weight limit, because there is a weight limit, get to the weight limit.
On the other hand, American promoter and former professional boxer Oscar De La Hoya gives his thoughts on the potential matchup between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, providing a seasoned perspective based on his long experience in the boxing world. De La Hoya points out that throughout history, a smaller fighter such as Crawford has never defeated a good big fighter such as Canelo. In the ring, Canelo is considerably the bigger man, and this is an extremely important factor. Canelo should be the significantly stronger man, and De La Hoya thinks this is a big plus for the Mexican champion.
Well, look, I mean, I've been in this game for such a long time, and I like to say I'm a historian. There's never been a good little man that beats a good big man. It hasn't happened. I mean, the exception is maybe Pacquiao beating me, but that situation and scenario was like totally different. I was at the end of my career, and I was a shot fighter, and Pacquiao was coming up and he beat me. But a good little man, which would be Crawford, just has never beat a good big man, which would be Canelo. In the history of the sport, it just now if Crawford can do it, Jesus Lord, I mean, give this man, the title of being the greatest ever, you know? And that's probably the motivation for Crawford. That's probably the motivation for his camp, for his corner, for his trainer, is that, look, if you beat Canelo, you can go down as one of the historical best fighters ever on the planet.
De La Hoya further adds that if Crawford were to somehow win, it would make him one of the greatest fighters of all time. He proposes that defeating Canelo would make Crawford legendary and give him an enormous amount of respect in the boxing community. De La Hoya states that Crawford may be able to utilize Canelo's speed and agility walking on quicksand to his benefit. He admits that if Crawford can outbox Canelo and not get caught by heavy blows, he may have a chance.
But I just don't see it as a fighter. I just don't see it. I mean, Canelo is a big puncher. Yeah, he walks on quicksand, and that's one thing that Crawford can use against him. But the pressure of the heavier guy. Canelo will be 200 pounds up in that ring. So it's a tough fight, but look, I give all the credit to Crawford. If he pulls that one off, Jesus, he'll be the messiah of boxing, of fighters.
Canelo Alvarez is going to handle business against William Scull, yet another name checked off the list. But now, all eyes are on what's next. Canelo Alvarez versus Terence "Bud" Crawford. What do you think? Will Canelo's power and experience be too much? Or will Crawford's slick skills and timing shock the world again? Let us know what you think in the comments below.